President Trump is with Netanyahu. And there's multiple comments here. Some people were not happy about the fact that he pulled a chair. If you want to play that clip, Rob. They're having a visit. So this is the first one that takes place. This went all over the place on the internet. Go ahead and play this clip. Do you have a problem with that, Chris?
That's it? Of course not.
Vinny, do you have a problem with that?
I mean, I've never pulled out a chair for another man in my life.
Adam, do you have a problem with that?
So you have shitty manners?
Can I see for a man?
Yeah.
For a man?
The rest of the video?
He's a guest in your house.
All that they had
That's
posted.
all it was?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so he just pulled the chair. So he was just being hospitable?
Tom, do you have a problem with that?
No, and I've seen this now 2 times from 2 angles, and I'm like, it seemed like a split second. He was just being nice, you know.
Have you had your chair?
I mean,
pulled
if he
off
started wiping his
That's all
face
different
and like massaging him, I'd have an issue.
I have a huge problem
out a chair?
with people who have a problem with it.
I don't have a problem with it.
Don't act like you've never pulled it. You pulled out the chair for Cuomo today. Hey, sit here.
Guys, I didn't have a problem with it. I'm just saying I've never seen a guy pull a chair out for a guy. That's all I said. I don't have a problem with it. I've never seen it before.
You did it for Cuomo today.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I moved it out of the way.
Yeah, you did. Nah.
Yeah, you moved it for Cuomo today.
You pulled it out.
And then he goes, why do I
Guys,
got the black chair?
Pull it out. Let it go viral. That's it.
You pulled it out, Tiny Jesus.
But can I tell you something about that? Can I tell you something about
the stool in for you?
The pulling chair situation? For example, for me, Vinny always gets me gifts. If there's a competition on who's gotten who more gifts, Vinny's gotten me more
There's
gifts.
one in my car right now.
No, but for example, when I went on Joe, I brought those gifts.
Yes.
I gave him the Andrew Jackson, all this stuff. I gave him
shocked.
what was
Lenny
the other
Bruce
thing?
microphone.
Lenny Bruce microphone. It's like, oh my God,
The Hendrix pen.
But when I had Mark Cuban on the first time, I gave him a first edition of Atlas Shrugged that he didn't have. He's like, you're kidding me. I said, he said, I have this book all over the place.
Not this one.
I said, it's first print, first edition. Rob, can you pull up the Cuban thing? And he's kind of like, this is a first print, first edition? I said, yeah. Wow, I don't have this, right? Whether it's Kobe, Kobe's reaction after the interview, the late Kobe, whether it's President Bush when we had on, it doesn't, sometimes people don't want gifts. Like DeSantis wasn't happy about my gift.
He hated those.
Well, he's got that restriction.
Yeah.
I get that. I get that. No, but the point being, you have that. There's mannerisms for somebody older than you or somebody that's in a more, what do you call it? Like not an elderly, somebody that they are.
Venerance, respect.
Yeah. So that's the only thing about it, which was kind of go all the way to the end. All the way to the end. It's like right there where you see even the spikes. Go up when you see the view spike right there. That's probably where it's at. Go up right there. Keep going. Keep going. That interview's in 20, right there.
Pat, you ever going to go? Oh, look at that.
Don't you love that orange
that hair.
I mean, you were probably honoring Trump with that
edition,
shirt.
1957. I found it from Beverly Hills. Not that he can't afford it.
Yeah.
I had a hard time finding it. Original.
So it just slams in.
No, but you're showing respect.
Yeah,
you're showing affection.
So that's the part. But the reason for that is because he gave me his time.
Right.
Yeah.
I asked for his time. He gave me his time. That's the only thing. I don't know who asked who to come. So maybe it's I ask you to come visit me. You came to my house. Let me serve you. If I come to you, you serve me. If that's the dynamic.
It's hospitality.
Look,
people are making the point that he is subservient to Israel. That's what they're trying to do. That's what, and look, again, you can feel that way. We have never had an American president, and Bibi admitted it on the stage, that he feels more supported by Trump than ever before.
That's right.
Can you dislike that?
By the way,
of course.
Let me tell you what I absolutely love about what Trump did. Oh, I can't even tell you guys. When I watch this, I'm like, listen, when you're the greatest country in the world, and when you have a lot of money, directly and indirectly, most people around you feel you like they can take something from you. What can I get from this guy, right? That are not in the inner circle. Not the inner circle. Inner circle is a very different story. Inner circle is but everybody else kind of like, let me see what I can get from here. Let me see what I can get from there, from other countries. Mm-hmm. Israel is not U.S. EU is not U.S. Any of these countries are not U.S. Relationship. Hey, Colombia did this. Panama. Yeah, we're not going to be doing this, the relationship with China. Blah, 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 blah. Of course, you need the U.S. business, and now you're allowing our naval ships to go through, which is saving us millions of dollars of fuel per year. That's what you're supposed to do, right? When he's giving this message and he throws this curveball, Bibi doesn't know what to do.
Nothing.
You can tell he had no clue
idea
about
no
this.
idea.
Rob, is this the clip?
So there's two clips. I don't have the isolated. This is the isolated version of Bibi's reaction. But do you want Trump making the announcement and then we play Bibi's?
Is this with the announcement?
You can hear it very lowly in the background.
Okay, let me. But does the other one have what Trump says?
Yes.
Okay, play the other one. Watch this.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years.
Yep. So now go play the clip with his reaction. Watch this.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and
okay,
get rid
that's
of the
you're not comfortable.
Buildings, level it out, create an
Is this the
economic
same guy that pulled out my chair?
He pulled it out from under him.
For the people of the area. Do a real job. Do something
Look at
different.
that.
Just can't
He's
go back.
looking
If you go
because
back,
he does not
it's
know he's going to be saying
end up
that.
the way it has for
No, of
100
course.
years.
I don't think anybody knew Trump was going to be saying that. It wasn't what was written for him. He had just said the language where he's like, yeah, everybody's going to have to be part of this thing and doing it. And then he says it. I'm supposed to have his hostage envoy, who's his Middle East envoy, come on my show right after this. I get a call. Really sorry. I got to go into an emergency meeting. I got to go. I got to go in. I can't talk to you right now. I have nothing to say about this. This is what Trump does, okay? Now, what I don't like about it is, and I got killed for this last night, and that's okay. Anybody who heard this, and certainly anybody in my business, knows that Trump was going off the cuff and saying something that was never going to be official U.S. policy. But everybody played it to advantage. On Fox, they started saying what a good idea this is. Yeah. And then on MSNBC, you got Joy Reid, who's an outrage. This is ethnic cleansing. Both of these entities knew that Trump was just riffing, right? Yeah. But it works for their agendas. And that's the problem with our whole dialogue. God forbid you say anything that shakes it up and makes something happen and you get attacked from both sides. I don't see Trump as the problem on this one. Yes, he said something that nobody wants. Levitt came out right away and said, no boots on the ground, and we're not paying for it. Well, that's not what he suggested. Yeah, I know. But that's the difference between official statement and when he's just pushing the envelope and riffing.
And I think everybody jumped on. I agree with you on a couple very key points there. And one of the things that people jumped on, he said, we're going to own Gaza. That's not what he said. Listen to what he said in full context. We're doing a very good job there. We're going to do a good job and we'll own it. What he's talking about is when somebody says, you know what? I'm going to clean up that mess. I'm going to own it. I'll take care of it. It doesn't mean that you're taking possession and like physical, legal, tacit ownership of it. That's not what he was saying. He was in the middle of a riff, but even in the middle of the riff, saying we're going to own it didn't mean that we're going to make it like Puerto Rico or Guam or a 51st state. No, that's not what he said, but it was a riff, and everybody jumped on those angles.
I like that.
But guess what?
That.
You know what? It's because they have no other news and they have no other position.
I have one thing that I love about this. Adam, I'll give my thoughts.
Yeah, well, is this idea completely out there? Is it outrageous? Is it completely preposterous? Yes, but is it the best idea I've heard so far? Straight up, yes, it is. Because you know how Winston Churchill said, democracy is the worst form of government except for all the others that have been tried? Show me an idea that has been proposed that is actually possible. Show me an idea. Because all the ideas that I've heard are the river to the sea chant. I've heard the global intifada chant. I've heard the two-state solution that has basically been hinging on nothingness since for the last 75 years and has not happened.
Where the second state gets a headquarters in Jerusalem.
Yeah, exactly.
Good
so
point.
what viable solutions have even ever been proposed? Nothing. So what they basically said, what he didn't show here was Gaza could and should be a Middle East paradise. I believe he called it the Riviera of the Middle East. It could be what Singapore is in Asia. It could be what Dubai is. It could be what literal Tel Aviv is. If you've ever been to Tel Aviv, it is literal paradise. It's like if New York met Miami on the beach. It's incredible. Gaza could be that. But instead, Hamas and the Palestinians have squandered billions and billions and billions of dollars by building down instead of building up. Their tunnel infrastructure is bigger than the New York tunnel system. Are you kidding me? So they've taken billions of dollars that have been given to them, and they built basically a terror network. So, and it's the same vicious cycle. They start a war, they lose a war, they cry foul, they sacrifice their martyrs, and they get they wait a few years, and then they do it all over again. And then the last point is this: the Jordanians don't want them, the Egyptians don't want them. They forget that Egypt has a border right next to them. They're not taking them in. The Lebanese don't want them. The Syrians
they
don't want
have
them.
millions and millions of Palestinians
It's 'cause they don't want the
already. So do
jihadists coming into their
Israelis.
country.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Well,
There have been problems with the population.
People don't forget
Vinny.
that there's 2 million Palestinian Arabs that live in Israel. Say that again? What do you mean they live in Israel? Yeah, they're Israeli citizens. Every single country in the Middle East has basically kicked out all the Jews, and they've moved to Israel. But Israel has absorbed 2 million Arabs. So why don't the other Arab countries take in the Palestinians? Unfortunately, is because no one wants them.
Vinny.
I don't know why.
It's a no-win. Listen, no-win situation, plain and simple. The only problem is the non-jihad terrorists, just the regular Palestinians that had to leave because Gaza was going to be leveled, and we knew it was coming. What are they going to come back to? Are they going to be able to come back to their home? Meaning, hold on, there's no more Hamas. Everybody's gone. The leadership has changed. Do I get to come back to my house that was leveled? I lost my son, I lost my daughter. Me and my wife are still here. Can I come back? If they're gonna rebuild and make a high-rise Trump Tower, can we get an apartment in there? Because my home was here. That's the only problem that I'm saying is, and I get it. People are like, they won't take them and they won't take them. Wait a minute, that's their home. They shouldn't have, nobody should have to take them. They should be able to come back home. And I think if you're gonna rebuild and make it nice, I should be able to come back and live where I was living.
That was the message that Trump articulated before he started riffing.
Yeah.
And now I'm told after the fact that the motivation here was the Arab community has to step up. They call the Palestinians brothers all the time until it's time to pay or to play. And if
What do
they
you
don't,
think about that?
if they don't step up, it's 100% true.
Okay.
If they don't step up and pay for, you don't want them in your country, you think you have enough, that's fine. Pay, because there's no reason for America to pay for it.
Yeah.
And look, what also doesn't work, and this won't be as popular, Israel being in control of that as an occupied territory doesn't work. So you need an international consortium there to make it work until it can establish itself as a standalone entity. And if Trump provokes that through this, then fine. But the idea that America is going to put boots on the ground, there's going to be ethnic cleansing, you're not allowed to come back, I think all of that is just to motivate left and right in proving which one is worse, and it's not the reality.
It's called art of the deal. He's starting with something, and then we'll see where it ends up.
Yep.
Pat, you were going to say something?
I think it's a little bit of that, to be honest with you. I think it's a little bit more than a little bit the art of the deal. I think Trump knows exactly what he's doing. He may have been riffing a little bit. I think he's got underlying thoughts. And to Chris's point, hours, not days, hours after the election, when it was time to pay or play, what did Qatar say?
Yeah.
Qatar. It's like, congratulations on your victory. And then they turn around, look over their shoulder and say, all of you Arab Brotherhood that are here, your visas are expired in 14 days, get out. Because Qatar's like, okay, Mr. President, Mr. New President, congratulations. We're good. And we don't have any of those guys.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, guess what? Those people were legal immigrants that were living in Qatar. But when it was time to pay or play, what did they do?
You know,
Bye.
this is a very simple thing. When it's like, hey, if you guys want to stay quiet and you want to defend them, it was similar to what Kyle from Nelk Boys did, where he said, hey, are you about the open border? He says, yes, it should be open border. And, Trump, he's going to be kicking people out. This is their country. And what's wrong with that and open borders? They say, man, we're so glad you feel this way. We have 20 illegal immigrants on the bus right there.
Brilliant.
That we would like to bring into your house since you agree. No, they can't come in. No, you agreed because let them come into your house.
Yeah.
And we think this is a great idea. So they got caught, Vinny. That's the challenge. They got caught knowing they don't want it.
Yes.
So now, to me, there's a part of it where it's kind of like, okay, go visualize U.S. has a, whatever you want to call it. What do you call that land if we take it over?
Occupied?
We occupy Gaza. Let's just say. I'm just,
Yes,
guys,
yes.
this is spitballing, guys. Don't jump to conclusion. Let's build it into Dubai. Do we have the money to do it? Sure. Is the guy a real estate guy that can do it? Sure. Did Jared Kushner talk about how beautiful the water?
Yes.
Yes. But then you build that, they come back, they don't know how to handle that. They don't know. It's like a lottery winner. You give what percentage of lottery winners after they win become drug
Huge
addicts,
percent.
destroyed,
like
divorce.
2/3 of them,
They don't. It's not, your money.
Commit suicide.
The identity is not there. It destroys lives. So if you do and they don't come back, that's the only way it'll work. But then if you do and they don't come back, are you kidding me? The stuff you're gonna have to react to. Is this a top 5 issues? Is it top 10 issues? I don't know. However, what I love about what he did is the following. Here's what I love about what Trump did. You know, Netanyahu, and especially him, his mindset, when you're that smart, you think you can outsmart everybody. Okay? And it's kind of like, oh, you know, he's on our side and he's this, he's that, he's this. I don't think he's on Netanyahu's side. I think Trump is on the Israeli people's side. I think Trump is on Israel as a nation side. I don't think Trump's on the political gamification, power brokers behind closed doors side. I don't think he's on that side. And the best part about being a great general and a leader is you need 2 things, and it's so hard to balance. You need an element of being very predictable. You need an element of being very unpredictable. As a parent, it's great as well. You also need to be like this as a husband. You need to be predictable. Your kids need to see you there. Okay, I'm there. Boom. Hey, boom. I'm here. This is what's going on. This is food, schedule, reading, this. They need a element of predictable. But then kids sometimes get so comfortable with daddy, they're like, oh, there's boom. Oh, shit. Oh, he's still in there. No matter how much I love you and I kiss you, that guy's still in here. It's like, oh, okay. So every 90 days, this needs to be seen a little bit, right? Trump is dancing with Netanyahu. Come on in. Let me pull the chair for you. Oh, on the big stage. Let me make you feel like the king. So yeah, here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be taking over Gaza, and then we didn't talk about that. Yeah, and it's going to be great, you know. And here's what. That's the beautiful part about him being unpredictable. You gotta love how he makes everybody uneasy to realize, hey man, I like you, we have a relationship, but you ain't America. It's America first. And that's the most beautiful thing that I like seeing on how that is managed. If he stays like that, he's gonna win people like me over every single day by making them feel uncomfortable. And that's the right thing to do. By the way, flip side, you ought to have a good relationship with them as well. You ought to try to have a good relationship with Russia. You ought to do your best to have a good relationship with Zelensky. You ought to try to have a good relationship with China. You ought to try to have a good relationship with Israel, but not at the cost of them thinking they own you and they control you. And I think this guy he's in such great flow state. I just love seeing that. For President's Day, we have a limited edition merch that you can go order on vtmerch.com for President's Day. Bunch of cool stuff. This one right here, look, whatever you do, if you're not going to order anything, order this one. It is absolutely sick. This is an actual photo taken of Abraham Lincoln with the glasses when he said, future looks bright.
Yes.
And he said, by the way, one of the best things is he says, there was a tweet about Abraham Lincoln on Twitter. He says, don't believe everything on the internet, something like that. When I used to tweet back in the days, it's just funny. But anyways, hey, President's Day, we got Abraham Lincoln shirt. Future looks bright. It's sick. The quality is the best. Feel the quality, Chris, how sick this is.
The Abe Lincoln thing is
Chris,
great.
wake up.
Future looks bright. Let's go to the theater.
Got Future looks bright sweaters. We got a bunch of other gear here. Whatever you do, go to vtmerch.com. Place the order. You get a White House sticker and a Future Looks Bright sticker. I got my Future Looks Bright sticker and Valuetainment sticker on the back of my phone. And I think it's what's the number here?
I gave my inaugural shirt, the white one that I wore on the show. Yeah. I gave it to a very good friend of mine who loves you guys. And he gave me a great idea about Future Looks Bright.
What's that?
He says, you know what it is? He says, it's a secret test future looks bright. I was like, no, I don't think it is. I think Pat's just trying to be optimistic. He goes, exactly. If anybody looks at my shirt and says future looks bright and has a problem with it, he goes, they're an American. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, that is true. What would be your problem with it? Future looks bright.
That's right.
Why don't you want the future to look bright?
And by the way, while you're
I
saying...
think he had an Ellsworth Sosnick version of that.
It could have. But anyways, the future looks bright. We also have for President's Day, we have a 47% off for 47. Rob, if you want to go to that category as well, there's a bunch of things there.
Did I see that these shirts are only $18 now?
Yes.
Wow, that's a deal.
Yeah, for sure. So go to vtmerch.com, place your order, especially the Lincoln one, because that one is limited. It'll go very, very quickly. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.